We Virginians can be proud of our history, our leadership, and most of all, our bright future. Tonight in Jamestown, we can appreciate our past, but we'll soon return to Richmond to begin our work for you.
This session will build upon a foundation of achievement. Last year, the General Assembly passed important measures to improve quality of life and livelihoods for all Virginians. We approved the first ever back-to-school sales tax holiday, reducing the tax burden on hardworking Virginia families. We abolished Virginia's death tax, ending an unfair policy that burdened small businesses and family farms. And we made the largest transportation investment in Virginia history, dedicating nearly $10 billion to improve our roads, rail, and transit. I represent Prince William County, one of the fastest growing localities in Virginia. The people I work for are on the front lines of our transportation challenges as they experience the time-consuming effects of clogged and congested roadways. As a new father to a beautiful 3-month-old, I'd like to spend less time in traffic and more time with my wife and daughter. The people of my district experience similar frustrations every day. For us, transportation is a quality of life issue. Virginia's current transportation system is based on a 1932 Depression-era approach. House Republicans firmly believe that we must bring the Commonwealth into the 21st century. To produce real results for our citizens, we must adopt a comprehensive approach to meeting our transportation challenges. Simply making the current failed system bigger will only result in a bigger problem. We must confront a root cause of congestion, uncontrolled and unmanaged growth and development. To combat sprawl, our transportation plan will give fast-growing communities greater authority to control residential development. We want to give local governments greater responsibility in determining how transportation dollars are spent, because VDOT in Richmond doesn't always know best. By controlling overdevelopment and sprawl, we can ultimately shorten the amount of time Virginians have to spend behind the wheel, spending that time instead on more important things in our lives. Another key component of our plan is securing the Transportation Trust Fund. In 2003 and 2005, delegates overwhelmingly approved legislation that would have locked up our transportation dollars. At that time, others did not share our sense of urgency in reserving those revenues for transportation. But now it is essential that the General Assembly enact legislation to put the trust back in trust fund, to guarantee that the monies collected for transportation only go to transportation. This year we've already pledged to dedicate at least 50% of the state's $545 million surplus to transportation, a funding level far exceeding the 29% that the governor has committed. The targeted use of surplus funds is just one piece of our comprehensive package. We're also advocating the prudent use of Virginia's AAA bond rating to jumpstart long overdue projects to reduce congestion and improve public transportation. Road construction costs are increasing at about 12 to 15% per year. Yet we can now finance projects at 4%, saving taxpayers a fortune by using this innovative tool. The governor has declared his support for using our AAA bond rating to speed up the cleanup of the Chesapeake Bay, to increase capacity in our prisons, and to expand our colleges and universities. And we agree bonding is a fiscally responsible way to address long-term infrastructure needs. But if bonding makes sense for these priorities, Virginia's overburdened roads and highways deserve the same consideration. Our plan also includes ongoing dedicated revenues for transportation. We can designate existing revenue streams, many of them already transportation-related, but not currently used for that purpose, without harming education. Our plan does not include statewide tax increases, however. This year, for the third year in a row, Virginia's budget will show a substantial surplus. When you consider that revenues and spending have increased by more than 40% in just 4 years, and that the largest tax increase in Virginia history was imposed upon just 2 years ago, we believe it would be wrong to ask you to pay even more. Because of this record revenue growth, we can fund the core service of transportation and still increase funding for education, health care, and public safety. There's no need to pit these core services against one another, and those who claim otherwise are placing partisan rhetoric ahead of real progress. Transportation is not our only challenge. 2 years ago, the United States Supreme Court handed down a decision that expanded the power of local government to seize your property through eminent domain. House Republicans believe that decision was wrong, even immoral, and will once again ensure that property rights of all Virginians are protected from the effects of this ruling. Controlling sprawl, improving transportation, and protecting property rights are just some of our priorities for this year's General Assembly. We'll also be supporting and passing legislation to build upon and expand our successes in providing quality education in our public schools, colleges, and universities. We'll be working to increase access to affordable health care. we will continue to push for legislation to protect our kids from sexual predators and all of us from violent criminals. We'll approve common sense approaches to address the problem of illegal immigration, and House Republicans remain committed to keeping the promises already made to Virginians by completing the phase-out of the car tax. As we begin Virginia's 5th century by commemorating the landing at Jamestown, let us recommit ourselves to the promise of our Commonwealth. By ensuring a government that protects liberty and freedom and encourages opportunity for all, Republicans are dedicated to making sure Virginia's future is more prosperous and promising than the milestone that we celebrate tonight. Thank you, and may God bless your family, our Commonwealth, and our nation. Good night.
And you've been watching the GOP response to Governor Tim Kaine's State of the Commonwealth address this evening. That was Delegate Jeffrey Frederick from Prince